So editing is always manipulating. Editing is choosing. But I chose for them to look good, for them to look clever, which they are. But they're not all the time clever when they speak 3 hours. So by taking the best, they come out very interesting, I would say. Each of them, they say things that we haven't heard from other people, and not that way.
Agnès, tell us about the paintings and what they do. I think it's very powerful somehow, the foil between, if you like, the collective and the heroism of, you know, the last painting, the women, in a way, running from the impending storm, or even the Millet. But all of them have this, in a way, they're mainly women. There's a sense of community. In a way that there's a romantic image and an acceptance of that image. And I mean, was that your idea of how they should act as a foil in the editing of the film?
This is not my idea that they should be accepted. The idea is that the gesture is... Elle est connotée, je ne sais pas comment dire en français. The gesture is the gesture of picking. So it's a gesture of gleaning. It has been used by many painters. Now, in the DVD, I made something called a Petit Musée de Peinture. And I collected in images. And, you know, like DVD, you can pick in one image, you have a little 2-minute film. Images of painters of that time, mostly 19th century, around 1800. Jules Breton made a lot of cleaning, and Edouin, that one, beautiful one, running before the storm, and other paintings. There is a beautiful drawing of Mayol, and there is others, you know, that I picked. This was my pleasure after the film, to look at paintings about cleaners. Now, the second point you raised is true. As the woman at the beginning says, that wonderful woman I met by chance, the little peasant who has her sablouse, and she does like this, and remembering how they were, she said, we were picking the beautiful weed, and she picks stupid little pieces of wood, and the ugly wood is for her the memory of gleaning, and as she said, that was a way of being together, and she said at the end of the day we were tired, we would drink coffee, all these things were made as a collective activity. Now, when you say women, not only women, but there was a law also in the DVD. There is a chapter of 6 pages about, in France we had laws about gleaning. And in some time in history, it was always one law. Cannot be before the sunrise, cannot be after the sunset. And the lawyer explained it, but this is true, this is in the code, you know. But in the old time, there have been specific laws. At some point, it should be only women and children. And some, you know, every 30 years, there would be another law. Another law was that you had to be poor, and you need a certificate signed by the curé, the priest, and by one notable, somebody important in the village, would certify you're poor, so you can glean. And it was always, in a way, forbidden to men. But later, and this is what happened in the last years, in the recent years, not only it's no longer a collective thing, but it's a lonely activity, and men do it also, and alone. Now, the film did something interesting in the near Caen, it's a city in Normandy. A social worker said that after seeing my film, she knew many poor women who, in the suburb of Caen, who were going cleaning, you know. Sometimes she would help one to say, you can go there and there. She said, oh, now we make a kind of club in a way. I will tell them to come together. I call this one and say, can we come? And we come 6 or 7 of them together. So it's like missing that sense of solidarity and collective things. I don't think it's coming back, but it's clear now, it's lonely activity, it's very lonely. And the painting is because I love painting, it's interesting to show that it has been a big subject in the last half of the 19th century. This is it. And they all painted that. You know, they have subject coming like this. Nobody today would think about, you know, painting a your question. Oui?
Did you encounter anybody who was hostile about the
Excuse
film?
me?
Did you encounter anyone who did not want to be filmed, who was hostile to you for doing this?
Hostile to me, only one, but in a very funny way. In the market, there was that woman, sort of strong, and I say, "Why do you come here to, you know, to bother us, etc." And if you tell too much about where we are, everybody will come. This is our, you know, this is our. And I spoke with her each time and say, "Well, I'm not, you know, I'm not making advertising your market. I've been around, go every other market. Don't be afraid. We just peace. You want to be filmed?" I said, "No, no, no. Can I take your voice?" "No, no, no." "Okay, say I want." No, but this one, slightly hostile. I met her 4 or 5 times later. Each time we had a conversation. Each time she said, "I don't want to be filmed, I want to speak to you." So that was just a change. Now, if people say they don't want to be filmed, we don't film them. You know, if they say, "Disturbs me," or "I'm too shy," or I don't film them. Now, if I have started to film them from far, and then come, and they don't want to, we won't use it, you know. But rarely they say no. Rarely they say no. And, well, in the market I try to be fair, you know. Some people I didn't ask. That woman was picking eggs, you know, I didn't ask. But we hardly see her face. I mean, well, it should be, and then we make them sign a release. Then we say, "This is a real documentary. We will try to show it everywhere. We'll try to sell it, you know. So far we have no money, but we'll try to make money out of it." We have to be honest on that. So do you allow us to use your face, your voice, totally or partially? I mean, like saying all this. And we make them sign. Because, well, in that case, you know, it was so odd because we had no money to do it. And then it did well. It was sold to television. It was sold to foreign countries. Now, what we did, my companies have difficulties. So the money made as the film company remained with the company. But when I received some awards in which there were money, for some reason, in Germany, 2 awards were accompanied with money. All the money came as gift or special was sent to the people, the one that we think that could help them. Not the woman in the cafe who was so lovely when you say, you know, Crapillet and when you say Crapillet, Glenet, tout ça. So some people sent beautiful books, like Jan Bert, you connais les photos du ciel seen by the sky. Have you seen a big book about the earth seen from the sky by artist Bertrand? It had been a big book. So some people will send beautiful books, well, the poor people will send money. I mean, we try to keep, and then the man who teaches, we send him in lectures and ask him, the people to salary him, because he has to be respected and he has to get a salary. And when we ask him to do something, we give him a prayer and a salary. Because we have to think about what kind of people there are, what are the need. You know, some just need money, we know, but some other need respect or payroll. Or this has to be. And I work with a company in which we really think about that carefully. Try to relate and not just be